everybody, I'm Paul.
And I'm Andrew.
And welcome to the Fan Voice. We are here in Smash Chat to introduce a special new little mini-series we're going to do. As a lot of you probably already know, Nintendo has casted out a Smash Ballot, which has basically been a voting for who you want to see in Smash. Which is pretty darn cool. And yeah, you can just pick whoever, and they've kind of given us an idea of who's in the running. But what we want to do with this series is basically talk about a few characters we want to see, or some of our friends want to see, and something like that. And
we're going to hopefully bring on a few people, and they're going to talk. They're going to defend their position.
Yes.
On why this character should be in Smash, why their specific character should be in Smash.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a couple of choices that we talk about too. Some of them are going to be more realistic than others. Others, like tonight, are going to make no sense. And probably not realistic at all. Yeah. But are really fun to talk about because it's cool to talk about the possibilities.
Absolutely.
Basically.
And basically what we want to try and do and cover each night is three main points. Why we think they deserve a place in Smash. Why would Nintendo consider them, and what moveset would they be?
Okay. Excuse me. Alright, so, our subject tonight is from Castlevania, Alucard. So, this is one that, we have a very good friend who is obsessed with a video game called Symphony of the Night. And he's played it a lot, like way too many times to count. And ever since we started playing Melee, actually, he was like, wouldn't it be cool if Alucard was in Smash? Every single time.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be so cool if he was in Smash? He has a built-in wave dash. And that was the extent of our argument every time. It was like, look at his backdash. It's like a wave dash.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
His backdash in Symphony of the Night looks like a wave dash. It has like a little skirt of smoke. And he like does a backdash. Yeah. So that was the extent of our argument. I don't know where we were going with it.
If they make that his role, people would like flip their
That would be amazing.
It's like, oh my gosh, the future.
Yeah. So I think that's why we wanted to start with this one tonight, because it was just like, this has always like kind of been there. I've always been like, oh, Alucard in Smash. No, it's never gonna happen. Every single time. But the reason that we originally, back when we started playing Melee, and this was a while ago, the reason we thought it could happen is that Castlevania for a really long time was Nintendo only.
Exclusively owned by Nintendo.
Yeah, it was NES. No, I guess it started on the SNES. And it was on the SNES and then handhelds for as long as you could remember.
Yeah.
And then it's really only until recently that certain games have started coming out for other consoles.
Like the last console before this, was that the first one?
I think so.
Or was it GameCube PS2 generation?
It might have been that.
Okay. But
still. Or it may have been PS1, actually. No, I think there was a port PS1. I'm not sure, honestly. I'm not up to knowledge. All I know is that it was Nintendo exclusive while I was playing it for like a really long time.
And hands down, its roots are from Nintendo.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's where it started.
Right.
And yeah, I think it was pretty much owned by Nintendo for a while. It's not owned by them anymore. I think like many other licenses, they were exclusively on Nintendo consoles, and they're not anymore. So the license is third party. So that's what makes this completely unrealistic, because it's a popular franchise, but it's popular for nostalgic reasons, and there hasn't been a Castlevania game out that really sold amazingly in a while.
Yeah.
So, but it would be really cool to have a Castlevania character.
Absolutely.
I think it would be awesome. I think it's sorely missing representation. Like, Nintendo obviously didn't own it, so they couldn't put it in Smash, but that would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Just him as a character would bring something really fresh to the table. I think that, like, the closest thing to that would be Snake, and still he would be nothing like Snake.
Yeah, no, totally. And I think Alucard's just really interesting because he has all these transfer. I mean, I'm thinking mostly Symphony of the Night, but it's the perfect one to draw from. He has all of these transformations, so he can transform into wolf and bat and all these different things, along with having so many weapons to choose from.
Yeah.
And his movement is pretty iconic. I mean, his movement is the backdash, obviously, and there's other movement options that you could just take straight from the game.
That's amazing.
And it would go really, really well. I feel like in Smash. Obviously, the subject matter in this is a little bit of an older game,
right?
So it doesn't fit that well in Smash. But I mean, Snake was in Brawl, and that was weird. Like, who saw that coming? At all.
And I mean, at this point, when you're looking at the third-party thing, you're seeing people here and there, like a big one being Microsoft with Banjo saying, yeah, we'd love to see him in Smash.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of people, a lot of companies that are like, yeah, sure.
They want to jump on board because this is the biggest, like, compilation fighting franchise of all time.
Yeah, no, it really is.
Now it is.
Yeah.
And, like, with the joining of Mega Man, Sonic, and Pac-Man, that was a miracle enough. I think at this point, the sky is the limit, you know?
Yeah. No, it's definitely true. So yeah, I think Alucard just translates really well into the game. I don't want to leave other castles. The only reason I picked Alucard is because it was always the one that we were talking about.
Yeah.
When we were younger. Like, Alucard would be so awesome in Smash.
Yeah.
Because we all loved Symphony of the Night, basically. But there are a lot of other characters from all kinds of different Castlevania games that could be in the game. I think it translates pretty well. Like I said, their movement is generally pretty iconic. You can it would be really cool to see that. So I think most of the characters could translate really well into Smash.
So looking at Alucard, what do you think his specific moveset would be?
So Alucard's specific moveset, like I said, the transformations come into this for me because I think it'd be really cool to have, like, either forward B be the wolf. There's a wolf run in Symphony of the Night.
Oh, okay.
When you transform into the wolf, you run really fast. And then there's the bat, which it also goes really fast. But so there's transformation opportunities there that would be really cool. I mean, just having him turn into a bat in general would be awesome.
Right.
That'd be a great idea. That would be pretty. I think that'd be an obvious thing to do.
Yeah.
Is to have like B or down B be transformed into bat or something.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Right.
As far I mean, you're gonna have his whip, I'm sure. And then at some point, you're gonna have. I mean, there's so many options. There's swords and shields and lances, and there's so many different weapons.
Oh my gosh.
I can just imagine all of the different weapons, but I think they probably want to stick to the whip.
Right.
So that would be his main attacking tool, I would think. And I think he'd obviously have a chain move. He'd probably have a chain grab.
Yeah, with the whip.
Yeah, I would assume anyway. Right. And then, and by chain grab I mean the Zero Suit
tether grab.
Tether grab. There we go. Yeah, no, not like
This ain't Melee.
Yeah, this isn't Sheik in Melee. No. So I mean, he'd probably have a tether grab. That's pretty obvious to me. And then I would like to see use of his of some of his potions and some of his his. I can't remember exactly what they're called, but basically throw them on the ground and they hurt enemies in front of it, and it's kind of like PK Fire.
Okay.
So that fits perfectly
Doable.
in also, because it's just a harming potion and it fits perfectly. He just throws it.
Nice.
And then there's so many different other abilities, and I mean there's so many vampire elements that you could bring into it. So there's really all kinds of things you could do. Invisibility is one of them. You could do a lot, but I think you want to hit the whip, and I think you want to hit the transformation into a bat, because that's pretty badass.
Right, yeah,
that'd be
absolutely.
Pretty awesome. So
it'd make a pretty fair recovery, I
think,
right? Yeah, just like for the B up, just like fly up.
Just like turn into a bat and fly up. That's actually what I was thinking. Is that most of his B moves would have to do with that.
Just become different things.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. I'm liking this.
Yeah.
And the awesome thing about Smash 4 is we got the custom moveset. So like, You think about all his different weapons, they could easily be integrated into customs, even if you can't fill them all out into a normal form kind of thing.
No, I think that's very true.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about that too recently, because I was like, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
And I would love to see, a sworded and shield version of Alucard or something. Like, that'd be really cool too.
Yeah,
but I just feel like, I mean, the whip's more iconic, but there's just a lot of stuff in that game specifically. And in most Castlevania games, there's a lot of weapons. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I think his moveset would be the best. Yeah. And obviously, like, having, like, the backdash or the, the kind of, he kind of does, like, not like a phasing dash, almost like Akuma's in some of the games. Characters have that. Okay. Kind of like Akuma's, like, teleport move.
Oh,
you can see him in certain frames.
He's, like, fading in and out.
Yeah. I think that would be really cool as a role, because certain characters in Castlevania have that. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities. I feel like it would be really, really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. Awesome. All right, so
did we hit all three of the main points?
I think we did. We covered movesets, and then why Nintendo would consider him. He's got a he's originally from Nintendo, and what is it? Like, why he's an awesome character. Just his arsenal of possible moves is probably, like, the biggest point, and also just that he would be a really, really unique character to throw into the mix of all of these like cartoon boys and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I think Alucard would be in Smash 4. All right, now watch that not come true, but that's okay because it's totally unrealistic.
Hey. We can hope. Everything's on the table. I'm believing.
I hope. I mean, they did say third-party characters are not out. Yeah. Anybody
not
and
impossible.
Everyone. Yeah. So who knows? It could happen.
Absolutely. So yeah, cast your ballots, and I think you can even, like, vote more than once, kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
like,
definitely.
Yeah. Just tell us what you think about Alucard, and
and tell us what you think about Alucard, and we'll be back in this little mini series for another couple episodes about other characters.
Absolutely.
So look forward to that. You can find us at Twitter at Fanvoice Podcast. There we go. Thank you.
YouTube.com/TheFanvoice Podcast.
Facebook.com/TheFanvoice Podcast.
Our email, fan@thefanvoice.com.
And our website, thefanvoice.com. You can find news, reviews, and all that good stuff. I'm sorry. I'm tired. It's after work. Okay. I'm going to go now and cast a bunch of Smash ballots.
All right.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys later.
Later.